Jeff Blankman joined here today by Audubon baseball coach Sean Burks as we talk about the remodel done by the Iowa Cubs down here at the Audubon Baseball Stadium. Sean, first of all, I know they did the softball diamonds last summer. Let's talk about how all this came about.
Our football field track got done a few years ago. We knew softball, baseball would be the next two. We were waiting on baseball because the land was still owned by half by the Armory and half by the city. It was kind of a line from first to second through left center, just a straight north-south line, and the school didn't own any part of the baseball field. It owned the softball field, so they went through with that first. We were never sure if and when we'd ever get it bought, but everything went well. Got that purchase so we could start doing this. So at both fields, the fencing was done by the same company out of Atlantic. The scoreboard was done by a different company. The dugouts were built by our school custodian, and then the actual field work itself with the sod and the infield dirt and the mounds and the bullpen, the actual field itself is done by the Iowa Cubs.
Were you surprised at how quick this all kind of came together once you guys got the area here bought?
Yeah, I think our administration's done a great job. Mr. Traeger, Mr. Gibbs, Mr. Spies, our boards, everything's been very supportive of we're getting everything remodeled. So very appreciative of that. They had the groundwork in place last fall. They just didn't want to lay the sod last fall just based on conditions, so they said they'd put us down to do it early spring. Of course, this spring was so delightful. Got a little worried how late we were getting, but now we got it rolling here. It's finally warmed up here this past couple of weeks, and it's coming together very nicely.
As we kind of take a look at the field here, some of the kids out there warming up a little bit. Tell us what the differences are here with what they've done and how much different it looks here today.
Bigger dugouts, wider dugouts, deeper dugouts. Everything about our dugouts are bigger. The warning track is new. We put a warning track in from just beyond both dugouts around. And then obviously all the sod from the edge of the arc of the infield in both the infield and then the foul territory is all new. All the infield material and the mound, home plate, base paths, all that is new. The Iowa Cubs did a really neat job. They went 8 inches deep last fall. It looked really deep. I didn't know what they were doing exactly. They went 4 inches of sand to help it help the water drain, and then put 4 inches of infield material on top of that. So it's a nice base to drain. We haven't had to deal with any drainage yet, but we'll see on that first, the questionable rain date if we can get a game in. I'm pretty positive that we're going to have a nice, it'll drain pretty well.
What have you heard from the kids through practices and stuff about the new surface and how the ground balls work? Even running the base pass is probably a little different.
Yeah, it's a little softer right now. The material's just a little bit different. It's not a lot different than what we've had, but it's a little bit softer. So your footing's a little bit different than before, where if you get a little hard, it'll get dried out. So we'll see how it goes as we go. It's playing just fine, but it takes a lot of raking and dragging after the game because it tears up quite a few holes. So the guys are doing a great job of volunteering to hang out to a little bit later at practice to make sure we're taking care of everything. We kind of do a couple different things each night. Every night we're doing the base paths, we're doing home plate. Every other night we're doing kind of a drag of the infield. Maybe once a week we'll take care of the warning track type of thing. So there's quite a bit to maintain, but the guys are taking tremendous pride in it.
You mentioned also the scoreboard. People can kind of see that in the background. How different is this year's scoreboard, and how much you guys looking forward to be able to use it?
It's nice. A couple things. It's got inning by inning. The old one did not have that. It was just home and away. And it's also got pitch counter on the bottom, so you don't have to deal with the coaches talking or the press box talking or whoever's keeping track of pitch counts. It's up there. If you got a question about it, you just you take care of it then. Otherwise, as long as it looks good, you just keep playing ball. So we're looking forward to that. I know Coon Rapids had one like that, and it was really, really handy last spring. And I knew with Mr. Gibbs being in charge of both schools, he said we were getting the same thing. So once I saw how well it worked at Coon, I was excited because we already knew we were getting that at that point.
Let's talk a little bit about the dugout. We'll kind of walk into this. Is the first base dugout, or your guys' dugout. Still a little bit of work to do, but quite a bit farther done along. And you guys have a game coming up already next week on Monday. So going to be finishing up here quickly, but quite a bit bigger than what you guys had previously.
Yeah, considerably longer, considerably deeper. There's a lot of subtle little things that we're not used to. In the past, just a simple shelf up top. We didn't have that. Everyone had to stuff everything underneath the bench. The extended length of it will be nice. We got two openings, so we can get a little airflow in here in the summer as well. Just little areas of storage, so the guys that if they're sitting on buckets or standing up front, they can use that. We've got our built-in helmet holder back here. We've got our pitcher for our cooler for water over here. Just the things you'd expect to have, and our custodian Brad Strader has done a really nice job taking care of this one. storage on the end of the dugout as well, so we can put our game bases, the stuff we use for games, the chalker, the infield material, everything's there. It's a little bit handier to get to than going all the way back, especially now that the gates to get out are on the end of the dugout. So if you want to get something out of that press box, you got to go all the way out and around. So we're trying to figure out right now exactly what we're going to store where to make it as efficient as possible. But having these options are really nice. We're really excited.
How did you guys decide on how big you wanted these dugouts? Was that something that you guys decided, or was that something that you kind of got from somebody else?
Softball had did it, and they thought they liked it, so we just kind of used the same dimensions they had. I had a few preferences after seeing what the softball field looked like. The second door was one of them. They just have a door on the far end. I pushed to get 2 doors, and they didn't fight me on that one. And then as well as we took one less board up front, so theirs is boarded up a little bit higher just to kind of open up the viewing point a little bit more. But other than that, pretty much the same as softballs. They have a storage shed as well, so it's a very similar setup. Both home dugouts have that extra storage. Both visiting dugouts are almost identical, and the actual dugout area on both dugouts is identical, the same dimensions.
One other area, I think, of new stuff out here again is the new fencing around the field.
Yeah.
Different sizes and stuff. Really kind of concerned in increasing safety here at the stadium.
Yeah, in the past, our backstop was about the same height, but now it wraps around a little bit further. I don't remember exact dimensions of the old one, but it wraps around a little bit further. And then before, where the backstop had stopped, it was just a regular 6-foot fence. Now we've made that into an 8-foot fence just to keep any of those screamers from going out into this ball stands. And then everywhere else that was a 4-foot is now a 6-foot. So the old 6-foot went to 8, the old 4 went to 6. So it's 6 foot all the way from the end of the dugouts all the way around the outfield fence and back. So just a little bit more room. And the black fencing looks really sharp. I think it does.
Mm-hmm.
It really stands out. We're really looking forward to everything down here. But yeah, the fence really makes it pop.
And you guys added concrete to where a lot of the bleachers were at as well. A little better footing for fans and everything else.
Yeah, we just had kind of pads before for where the 2 bleachers went. Now we've kind of extended that pad around, so anyone that wants to, set their lawn chair on it or whatever, it's a little bit sturdier to sit on, a little bit higher up as well, so you're not kind of sitting down looking up at the field, so you're built up a little bit more. And then we were able to get concrete down our batting cage, so as part of that concrete work as well. So we just got that turf put in a couple weeks ago on top of it, so we got that turf on top of the concrete gives a little sturdier spot to swing on. The guys are able to hit in tennis shoes if they want. In the past they kind of slip and slide. In days where it rained, you'd really dig a rut and dig a hole, and the next day it would just be a mess as well. So keeping that area nice all summer and keeping that with that concrete should be really nice.
Sean, anything else that was done that we haven't talked about today?
New LED lights. The light poles in the outfield aren't quite as high as before, just because the older ones were kind of grandfathered in based on the airport back there. But we were able to put an extra bank in. The poles before were on the inside. They were old wooden poles that were in play, had wires dangling. We've got all the poles on the outside now. Safety-wise, playing-wise, should be easier to go with. And the new LED lights have a light about a third of the way up on the poles to shine up to light the bottom of the balls for those balls that are up in the air, maybe a bit higher than the lights. But otherwise, the new LED lights are nice. You just flip them on, they pop on. You don't need that half an inning of warming up or anything, and you turn them off, they snap off right away. And the one really cool thing we'll see here the first time we actually use them during a game is it really lights up the ballpark and doesn't have a lot of wasted light. I mean, the parking lot will be pretty dark, the street will be pretty dark. It'll really make the field the area that really stands out, and don't have a lot of wasted energy, so that's nice to keep those efficient.
Sean, with so much stuff already being done, any other things that you would like to see done with the stadium in the future, or plans that you guys already have?
Nothing at the time. There'll always be things that'll come up, but we've got our new concession stand going in, possibly get bathrooms there at some point in time would be the next big one. I mean, it's an expensive thing and it's a mess anytime you're dealing with the plumbing and the sewer and all that. So bathrooms are really the only other thing that we're maybe hoping to get at some point down the road, but whether the boosters in school will come up with that at some point. But I'm not gonna get picky at this point. We're really excited with everything we've got. We're really fortunate to have the facilities we do at a school our size. For a 1A school in most sports, 8-man in football, a pretty small school, to have the football track facility we have, the school with the 2 gyms, softball is upgraded and nice, baseball's upgraded, and our little league's doing an outstanding job too. They put a little league field up there this spring with new backstops. They're going to put our old scoreboard up, and all fence. A lot of donated time and labor. So the support from our community is really nice. I think right now, I think we've got 3 coach pitch teams because we've got like 27 second and third graders out for baseball for the boys. Our 4th and 5th grade is usually one team, but there's so many of them. There's about 24, 25 of them, so they've broken up into a 4th and a 5th. So, you know, for us to have, you know, over 50 kids in 2 through 5 baseball, you know, improving this and keeping a winning product on the field is only going to help that program going forward. So we're really excited about where we're at and everything going forward.
Sean, I tell you what, beautiful new stadium. Can't wait to get down here and watch your game. Appreciate your time here today.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate the coverage.